we switch gears, and we get to have a little bit of a preview of some Friday night high school football. Joining us on the phones right now with the West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, which you can hear right here on News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. It's Stephen Orr. Hey, Stephen.
Good morning, Chad. How are you? Helps to push that button.
I'm doing great. Hey, good to talk with you. I missed you last week, but it's good to have you back. It's another year of high school football.
It is, and man, what an interesting first week it was. You know, I think the one that jumps out at me from last week that was just really surprised me, to be honest with you, is Lubbock High beating Seminole in overtime 20-17. That's an awesome win and a great way for the Westerners to start their season.
Well, and you know, they're off to a good start. Estacado last night, looking pretty good.
They apparently had a sour taste in their mouth from week one, losing to Hereford by 3. So they just put a school on with Dumas last night. 48-17 is your final in that one. And Dumas actually supposed to be an improved team this year and pretty tough, but small work for Estacado last night.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we have on tap for tonight?
Well, I mean, you've got several games. I think you've got Lubbock Monterey taking on Abilene Wiley. They're going to have their hands full. They lost a game last week to Odessa, you know, a close ball game that was a back and forth, and now they're going to step out of that and take on Abilene Wiley Bulldog team that is probably going to be the district champion or is certainly top 2 in their district, and they're always really tough, and Monterey looking to find a way to get back in the win column. You've got Coronado taking on Wichita Falls Rider. Coronado gets the win last week, and so they're trying to improve to 2-0. Wichita Falls lost their opener Rider lost their opener last week, and so Wichita Falls Riders usually has a pretty prolific offense, and so I think it's going to be very important for Coronado to play some defense, but those guys they put a lot more points on the board now with Coach Parr there, and so that could turn into a bit of a shootout as well. And you've got Lubbock High. We talked about them. They get a good win there, and now they're going to take on Andrews. They're going to travel down to Andrews. Andrews scored 75 points last week in the win.
Wow.
So they're very powerful offensively, and Lubbock's going to have to do a really good job on defense there. But man. Could the Westerners start off 2-0? That'd be a really good way to start. An interesting game there. Shallow Water takes on Levelland. These two teams both got a win last week. Shallow Water coming off a really difficult season last year. Start last week over Idalou on regional television and make a statement in a win where they beat Idalou 35-7, and that was a really big win for Shallow Water there. Levelland coming off of their big win last week over Muleshoe, 54-34. So they're going to be very good on offense, and I think that could be a really good ball game as well. When we look a little further down, Lubbock Roosevelt taking on Slayton. Slayton got a big win over Floydada last week and looked pretty impressive. Lubbock Roosevelt struggled against New Deal, and I think Slayton very well could be 2-0 after tonight unless Lubbock Roosevelt can figure out a way to step up on defense a little bit in that ball game. When we look a little bit further down, Abernathy takes on Tulia. Abernathy got the big win over Post last week. Tulia lost in overtime to Panhandle up at Dick Bivens Stadium, and so they're going to have their hands full again, and I think Abernathy probably comes out with another victory in that one. They were ranked number 9 in the state last week. I haven't seen the polls yet this morning, but I'm sure they're either at 9 or maybe moved up just a little bit. Look around Lubbock at the private schools. Lubbock Trinity taking on Lockney. They got a win over Claude last week, and Lockney won their ball game last week. So this will be a good test for Trinity as they try to go to 2-0. And then Lubbock Christian takes on Sudan. Both of these teams 1-0 on the year, and very possibly could be that Christian gets their second win.
So a lot of good football that we're going to see this weekend.
It is. One other one that I forgot to mention. Lubbock All Saints their inaugural season kicked off last week, and they lost, but they played respectably against Meadow, and then last night they got beat by Lubbock Christian Homeschool. But All Saints and Lubbock Christian Homeschool, so a lot of good football taking place around. I think if I was going to pick a couple of games and just say, man, I really want to go see that game, I want to go see shallow water and level land. I think that's going to be a quality ball game. I'd also like to go watch Monterey play Abilene Wiley. That's going to be a really good ball game.
Yeah.
We skipped one. Lubbock Cooper taking on Canyon Randall, and I missed that one. The Pirates beat Amarillo High last week by 3 points, and then now they're going to take on a Canyon Randall team that Randall has not played yet this year. This is their opening game of the season, so that'll be a pretty good game up there in Canyon tonight as well.
Well, and one of the things that, when if I remember right, last year, the first few weeks of the season, didn't we have a lot of rain and thunderstorms and everything else going through? This year, it's going to be nice, it seems, at least the first couple of weeks.
You know what you just did, don't you?
No.
You summoned the rain gods.
I did not. I did not do it.
You were trying to sabotage it, but you're right. Last year, the first 3 or 4 weeks, every week we had games affected by Mother Nature. So far, this time around, perfect weather, really. I mean, it's going to be. It's not too hot. It's very mild. It's going to be a great night to watch football and some good games to go out and see.
Now, obviously, on the West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, you are focusing on teams out this direction of the state. But I know you're not going to be giving scores out of any of the teams down on the down in the Houston area or anything else. But are any of those teams back up and playing after obviously Harvey went through and a lot of teams were sidelined for obvious reasons in week 1. What's the status of some of that football?
School doesn't even start down there till the 11th of September.
Okay.
And a lot of the games have been canceled. I mean, there's schools down there where they're consolidating 2 high schools together.
Yeah.
I know Kingwood High School is closed for the entirety of the year, and their whole student body is going to another school. There's facilities down there that are, when you've been in the bowl-type facilities or whatever, the water's up to the first row of the bleachers. I mean, so the damage and the time to repair that, it's really created a problem. I know also that the UIL said they're going to take each transfer situation on a case-by-case basis as kids who may be not able to continue at the school they were at, maybe they're not going to be able to play football, that there's going to be some special consideration taken for transfer, but it's each individual case. So it's just created a real mess down there, especially right in Houston. And I'm trying to remember, I think there's 2 6A districts and 2 5A districts in Houston.
Yeah, and well, and that's what I was about to bring up when you're talking about Kingwood, when you're talking about these Houston area schools. These are massive amounts of students that are going to have to go somewhere else.
Right. It's going to be certainly a challenge for them, and I don't envy anybody that's having to work through that situation.
No. Well, our hearts go out to them for sure.
But anyway, no, I mean, it's great. Another year, our 21st year. I don't know if you knew that or not, but this is the 21st year that we've done the scoreboard. We're on in 35 different markets, and we try to cover almost every school west of I-35 and north of I-10.
That's a lot of schools.
We'll do about 200 games every Friday night.
That's a lot of football.
That is a lot of football.
And you can hear it right here on KFYO.
And somebody said, man, you get to follow all that football, but I don't get to sit in the stands and watch football games.
Yeah.
We just talk about it.
You just talk about it. Hey, Stephen, good to talk with you again today, and we look forward to every Friday throughout high school football season with you this year.
Well, Chad, we appreciate it and always have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, which you can hear tonight here on KFYO, 10:15 to midnight.